Hello again. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I thought I'd better crack on and get some done for you. There's two videos I'm going to be doing. The first video is going to be on a repeater system that I've kind of bought and played with and going to demonstrate to you shortly. And the second one's going to be on a new set of radios. They are H777s, UHF radios, 4 watt, 5 watts, 16 channel, no display, nice, simple and basic ones. I'm going to give you a full review of these shortly on a different video. The reason I bought these was basically they were cheap, cheerful. I wanted to see what they were like, have a bit of a play with them, and also I am 2 radios down at the moment, and you'll see why shortly. Okay, so what I've been doing, well, I've been on eBay, back to my favourite channels and my various sites in Hong Kong, and I bought myself a simplex repeater. It's a duplex repeater. It's cost about £50 to buy, and basically you can connect PMR radios or any of the Wuxen variety, and obviously any compatible ones, which covers all the Kenwoods and various other China made or Hong Kong made radio systems. So this is what I've been building. If you have a look behind me, I'll just move myself and my chair out of the way. This is basically what we've got here. This is an old toolbox that I've decided to hack and use. If I unscrew these, we've got a couple of the PL259 type connector female adapters, one at each end of the box lid. With that, they go into B and C, and then I've got these UHF antennas which B and C connect on. The reason for that is if I wanted to connect any external aerials on that point or that point there, then I can do so quite easily. But those are the antennas anyway. Opening it up, this is where the fun begins. Now, this is the little repeater system here. As you can see, it's flashing green to show that it's on standby. It's currently on charge as well. And what you do is you can plug in 2 radios. One's going to transmit, the other one's going to receive. And then the 2 radios that I've decided to use on this project are the Mytex radios, purely for the fact that they're good radios, good sturdy, very good quality, and I didn't want to waste using something like the Wuxen. So to make it as professional as I can, I've got the various connectors going into the antenna, going to that socket, same with this one going to this socket here. So it's going to be using outside aerials. The idea and the main purpose behind this is I don't have a genuine purpose to use one, however to play around with and to experiment, it's great fun. Also, if you want to use a repeater system, this is a self-contained toolbox which will have everything in ready to go. All you do is to flick the repeater on and flick a switch down here, which I'll show you shortly, and that powers up these radios. So these radios don't have their own independent batteries connected onto them. I've just got some power adapter leads going from a 12-volt battery powering these. These are going to be permanently set to frequency, and the volume controls switched on here. The main switch to turn these on and off is going to be inside here. If I tilt it slightly for you, you may well see, a bit closer to you, that's the lead acid battery that I've got in there. On the left hand side you can see I've got a spare cigar lighter, type cigarette lighter adapter sockets there for any of the 12 volts output that I need. But that's a 12 volt supply which then powers the radios and charges up this little repeater system here. This has got its built-in battery which gives you about 30 hours of use. But like I say, this is the charger which charges from 12 volts, so these are always powered up. So as soon as I flick that switch, everything just kicks straight into action. The instructions recommend you have a, what is it now? I think it's 2 megahertz jump between transmit and receive. Obviously you don't want to be transmitting too close to where you're receiving because it's going to bleed it out, and unfortunately that is one of the problems I'm having. I'm using 2 separate frequencies with just over 2 meg jump, and for some reason I'm still having a few problems, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you shortly. So to use, let's just get the aerials screwed on. It could well be that I don't have a big enough gap between these two aerials here. It could be that that's one of the problems I'm having. But I've programmed the Wuxen radios, whether you'll scan and pick it up. You can see I've programmed it to be called repeater, which I have. You can't see that really. So it transmits on one frequency and receives on another. So close proximity, which you shouldn't really be too close to when you do it because of interference, but to demonstrate it will work quite well. So if I transmit on this frequency, it comes out of this radio. You release, you get a bit of noise, and you know it's worked. Likewise, transmit on this radio, close to the microphone there, you can hear it's coming through, and it's worked. To demonstrate the fact that it is going through the repeater, if I turn the repeater off there, so to demonstrate the fact that it's working without the repeater, or it won't work without the repeater, when I transmit now, it's receiving, but it's not transmitting, and that radio's dead. Transmit on that one, it's transmitting, that's receiving, but it's not transmitting, that radio's dead. If I turn the repeater on, let it blink, let it flash, let it reset, transmit, and there we go, it's transmitting. Now that's all very good and well if in your fairly short range like we are today, but I've put this up in a really high destination, i.e. the loft of my house, and I'm using legal frequencies. You've got to be very careful what you do. I do know what I'm doing, and I have got correct frequencies that I've programmed. These Mytex I have reprogrammed myself, so I'm not just using the business frequencies. Okay, I am using frequencies that I'm allowed to use with the powers and the terms and conditions on my licenses. So before anyone starts mailing me about that, it is all in order. But the only problem is when you go a certain range, anything more than sort of half a mile, when you transmit on one, it's picking up, but then the other antenna is transmitting, and that transmitter then the signal just seems to be interfering with the receive, and the signal's very, very weak, and it's not really working as it should do. So as a repeater system, great in theory, but in practice it's not very good. Now I'll take that back if anyone else out there has tried this system and have got these repeaters to work. And if you have got them to work, I'd be very interested to see how you've got them to work and how you've got them wired and the sort of frequencies that you're using. I'm putting it down to the fact that the radios are very, very close together in here, and maybe the antennas are too close as well. I didn't think that would cause a problem, especially with the frequency gap that I've got between transmit and receive, but it clearly is making a difference. So if you've had any experience, or you've got any ideas and you can suggest why this is happening, what I can do to solve this problem, then please let me know. I'll be very interested to find out and to get this working properly. Yeah, I've probably ruined a perfectly good toolbox doing this, but I have to say I do think I've done quite a neat job with that, and if I can get this to work, the base of this box can be used to store other radio equipment when you go away and go into various radio projects, and you've always got a useful little portable, shall we say, repeater box for any situation that may arise where I need to extend communications. The great thing about this, with it being 12 volts, I've got my various power supply adapters in there, I can connect that to a car battery, no problem, and leave this on top of a vehicle or inside a vehicle, cover great distances, magnetic mount aerials fasten through here onto the car, and cover securely at a good range. So that's what I'd like to do, but I do need to sort out why it's causing me this problem. So any ideas, let me know. eBay sell these little devices, like I say, for about £50, and they are good, and I'm sure there's just a way of getting them to work even better. You can get ones which are just purely single channel, which have a up to 30 or 60 second recording mode on them. So you only need one radio, and the idea is when the one radio receives the signal, it records your message up to 30 to 60 seconds, I believe, and then it retransmits it on that same frequency. So that's an easier idea, a lot simpler and a bit cheaper. But the disadvantage is, of course, when I transmit, as soon as I stop transmitting, I would hear myself backwards, which is obviously when other people will hear the message, and then you've got to wait for them to transmit, and then wait for that message to be retransmitted until I'll get it back. So this just seemed like a nicer way of doing it, but you know, if it's not working, it's not working, simple as. So any ideas, please let me know. I think in the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is to disconnect all of this, put these radios back to the proper frequencies, get the batteries back on and the clips and various antennas and what have you, and start using them as radios again. I will see. The other thing is with these, you can turn these on and off by using the dialing tone buttons on your radio, and there's various things you can do. You can alter the security, you can change the codes and everything else. So they are quite sophisticated little bits of kit really for what they are, and I'm sure they do work well. It's just me, probably. So help me out if you can. Right, okay. Oh yeah, and that's what I was going to say to you. That's why I'm 2 radios down, which is why I bought these little handy radios. I will do a proper review on these a bit later on. So thanks for watching, and I hope to speak to you, or hope to see you again soon. Thank you.